Maybe the mask isn't just there to keep a virus out. Maybe it's there to keep the socially unacceptable version of me in. Maybe it's there to aid us, to hide our identity and our feelings under the blue rectangle hanging off our ears. To make us feel accepted, like we are part of the gang. Common wisdom says the mask is the ultimate act of empathy, a literal shield for my neighbor. But what if that's wrong? What if by covering our faces, we haven't become more caring? We have actually become more hostile. We've traded our human connection for a false sense of security. And in the process, we've turned every grocery store aisle into a high-stakes interrogation room. And this is nothing to do with the removal of our freedom or our rights to not wear it if we do not want to. Let me be clear, I'm completely against not wearing a mask if you're coughing around everyone in a public space and do not even cover your mouth like many people do. But in this video, I aim to analyze the social discrimination that happens if you do wear a mask, and also the psychology behind the act of covering your face. Before I get into why I think we might be drifting into a permanent state of exclusion, I want to ask 3 things that have made me think about this deeply. Is the precautionary stare a sign of safety, or is it a new form of soft violence towards the person wearing the mask? Have we accidentally built a society where health is just a code word for forced performance? When we look at a stranger now, do we see a human being, or do we just see a biological hazard ready to infect us? It feels like the Truman Show. You remember that moment where Truman realizes the entire world is a set, every neighbor is an actor, and every friend is a monitor ensuring he stays within the lines? When you wear a mask in a space where others don't, or vice versa, you become the glitch in the set. You see it in their eyes, that scared precaution. It's the look of a cast member realizing you're off script. Christoph, the creator in the movie, says we accept the reality of the world with which we're presented. But what happens when that reality is built entirely on the fear of the person standing next to you? What if you're being judged just for wearing a mask? Like if your disease was so contagious that with a long stare it could pass from one infected to the next, airborne or even mind-borne. Bane wasn't just a villain, he was a manifestation of pure physical exclusion. In The Dark Knight Rises, the mask is what makes him a monster. It's what strips him of his humanity and replaces it with terrifying functional necessity, a lump of muscle meat with a weird voice and a lack of identity. Even Nolan praised Tom Hardy's prowess as an actor, being able to transmit so much emotions through his eyes. When we stare at someone with scared precaution, we are effectively banifying them. We stop seeing their mouth, their expressions, their soul. We only see their apparatus. We turned our neighbors into masked mercenaries in a war they didn't sign up for. We've made the face, or the censoring of the face, a weapon. They're no longer people with a cold or a passing virus. They're vessels of fear, porters of death, and didn't even sign up for this role that was violently assigned to them. This leads us to the logical conclusion. The Last of Us. In that world, every stranger is a potential infection. Every sound in the woods is a threat. They call it survival, but Joel and Ellie show us that survival without connection is just a slow death. When we prioritize safety so highly that we exclude the unclean or the unmasked, we aren't protected society, we are fracturing it. We are becoming survivors in a wasteland of our own making, where the clickers aren't fungi, they're just people we've decided are too dangerous to talk to, too dangerous to go near without fearing for our life. In The Last of Us, the clickers are deadly, and if you make too much noise, they will rip you to pieces very quickly, without hesitation. In the mask wearing debate, the problem is that most people are not that infectious, they're not that deadly, and are certainly not that ill-intentioned. But as soon as there's a person with a blue rectangle covering their mouth and nose, our senses of survival kick in and we automatically group in them as clickers in a post-COVID era of infection. If we contrast the Western world with China, it is completely normal to wear a mask everywhere. Nobody cares, and it doesn't seem to make people uneasy. Masks there and in other Asian countries like Japan have been worn for decades, long before COVID-19. However, these are countries that practice a very different way of living than we do. where, for example, in China, everywhere has cameras that are used as ID for payments and people tracking, something that is unheard of in Western cities. Arguably, Asian cultures tend to be colder in physical contact, especially between people that are not in your close circle. So this could also be taken into account for explaining this phenomena. But we've reached a point where exclusion is marketed as virtue. If you don't fit the current safety profile, you're edited out of the scene, like a glitch in the matrix, an error in the programming code of the perfect utopian society. If the Truman Show teaches us anything, it's that the war only exists if you believe in the script. The scared stare from a stranger isn't always malice. Sometimes it's just a reflection of their own isolation. It's a representation of their own insecurities and pains. They aren't looking at me as a threat. They're looking at me through the lens of their own broken social confidence. The social confidence that was imposed by the media and scaremongering imposed on us all. Are we being extreme? Perhaps, but the answer isn't found in policy. The precautionary stare only has power if I choose to feel excluded by it. True health isn't just a lack of virus, it's the strength of our own social fabric. A stranger's only hazard if I refuse to look past the fabric. Even Bane had a reason for his mask, and even Joel found a reason to trust again. Safety is important, yes, but a life lived in total isolation is just a well-guarded prison. The way out of the set is to be one who smiles with their eyes first, to be one who breaks the tension with a nod, to remember that the person behind the mask or the person without one is just as tired of the script as you are. They do not deserve to be demonized by the masses just because they chose to be compliant or not. It should be a social choice if the medical conditions are not even present. In case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. But this time, let's try and actually see each other with or without masks on. So what are your thoughts? You think the mask debate is still present in society, or do we just need to accept it like Asia has done for a long time, and people should just treat everyone the same whether they're wearing a mask or not? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I will answer all your comments. And if you enjoyed this video, smash that like button without breaking your keyboard, of course, and share this video with friends and family. Also, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon. That way you will be notified next time I upload a new video every Friday where I talk about film, thinking and culture. This is the free way you can help me to keep making these videos. And now you can go and watch this video here where I talk about 10 lessons you can apply to remove an activity you're not happy about doing, inspired by the great Stoics from the past. And that is a wrap for this one, but I will see you on the next one.